Pimps and undertakers dancing in my dreams tonight. Do 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 do. Anyway, speaking of stupid shit, so sometimes I get these flashbacks of like my childhood, and some of them are kind of fucked up, and I sort of blocked this memory, if you will. I don't even want to call it a memory because it's disgusting. It's filth. It's awful. But I blocked it from my mind, and rightfully so. And it just popped into my head today. It was like, bloop, there it is. So, I want to share it. Because it's fucked up. That's why I want to share it. Now, basically, it's youth and porn. It's basically, in fact, that's probably what I'll title it, youth and porn. Because now in my book I talk about Little Dicky, and I don't remember how or where I came across I don't even think it was a Playboy. It wasn't a Hustler. It was like a German porn magazine. This is back in the day. This is back in the 80s. Before, this is like, shit, this is pre-internet. This is fuck. Al Gore hadn't even invented the damn thing yet. And you didn't have a lot of options. It was either that or your mom's JCPenney catalog in the lingerie section. Okay? And they always had that hot, chunky woman in there with a little black thing. Ooh. But whatever. Whatever. Anyway. So it was either that or, whatever. And there wasn't a lot of options. This is back when like Spice Channel was like, well, this is pre-Spice Channel, but there was that stuff in the mid-early 90s and whatnot. And of course, we never had it. We never actually had that channel. But if you go onto the channel, it's all blocked out. But every now and again, you get a little glimpse of little titties and stuff. There's always that one moment where you see the guy's dick, and it's like, oh, one moment of clarity's got to be some guy's dick. But whatever. And like I said, somehow I had gotten a hold of porn. And I said, shit, I'll give this a Little Dicky. He'll like it. you know? So I took it to school, gave it to him like right at the beginning when we got there. And then at lunchtime, instead of breaking out his lunch pail, old Dicky breaks out the porn. Just then, Miss Irving, this rotund whale of a woman, who, honestly, I don't think I ever saw the woman walk. She was always in her chair, the one with the wheels on it, and she'd like kick her feet, and she'd like scuttle around, like just. Actually, it kind of reminded me of that one monster from Doom that was in the little walker. It looks like the brain in the walker. That's kind of what it looked like. Whatever. Anyways, so to say that me and porn didn't go together, so this is another porn story. And this is, now, I want to make abundantly clear, I was on board with this. I'm not going to pretend that I wasn't. I was definitely complicit. I definitely complied to this. I definitely was. Again, I'm not going to sit there and say, "Oh, it wasn't me. It wasn't me." No, it was me. I was there. I agreed. But somehow, well, let me back up. Apparently, between the two mothers, between me, my mother, and Jon Snow, who's a complete asshole, by the way. And yeah, he probably did molest his sister. I've seen him. If somebody asked me, do you think he molested his sister? I'd say abso-fucking-lutely. Abso-fucking-lutely. I've seen him do things, and I know he did things. Okay, he's like, oh, there's another Jon Snow. It wasn't me. Yeah, bullshit. Bullshit. If you're asking me to put money on that shit, I guarantee you, he was doing something somewhere. He was a pervert. The dude's a pervert. Okay, absolute fucking pervert. Whatever. So yeah, if you're asking me honestly, and I'm not saying this to be mean or anything like that, but if you're asking me honestly, yeah, he probably was diddling his sister. and sit there and blame it on the other kid. I've seen the other kid. No. Dude, if the other kid was banging his sister, I'd almost applaud it. Because I've seen how docile that other kid was. Who supposedly had the same name. Kid, no, please. Please. I saw him, quote unquote, with his girlfriend. He was sitting there with his hand down her pants. I don't know if he had his finger up her ass or what, but the look on her face, she was embarrassed as fuck. He was like molesting her right there, and I was watching. I was like, she's, hey, he's doing it right in public. He's literally right there in front of people. He's having a conversation with me while he's finger, and I was like, you fucking pervert. Whatever. So again, if you're asking me about that, and I'm not saying this is somebody that's better, like, oh, I don't like him. I have nothing against him at all. In fact, he was a complete asshole. But neither here nor there. So somehow between my mother and his mother, we agreed that us, the two boys, would walk from the high school over by the McDonald's, and we would go to Main Street to the power company, which ironically had just moved into technically it wasn't the old Assembly of God, because the old Assembly of God was at the Masons building around the corner. Because we had rented out the Mason building. And they got some funky shit in that building, I'll tell you right now. I was in their upper room, and I'm telling you, there's some weird... I was there, and there was some weird shit. I just throw that out there. They got the little dress-ups, they got the little swords, they're into some funky shit. And in that upper room, like, there was speculation that they may have, like, because there was these things in the wall, that there may have been, I don't want to use the word hologram, but there may have been, like, projection things. Like, there was some funky shit, let's just put it that way. I'm not saying that's what it was, but they were into something. And I could go into a whole clip of that, and I probably should, but whatever. Anyway, back to this story. So they had moved from around the corner to where they currently were, which was where the power plant is, which was the workout gym place, which then after they left, which I don't even know where the Assembly of God moved to from that point. Because, like, we were all excited, we were finally getting our own building kind of a deal, and yay, and then all of a sudden it was like, whatever. So, we were going there, which is right there on Main Street. Well, not too far from it, like 3 or 4 shops down or whatever, there was, what was the name of that place? Nichols, 5 and Dime, 3 dimes and a quarter, whatever the fuck the name of that place was. And that place was notorious for having the back door. A lot of kids went in there and stole shit. Well, John gets a novel idea of, let's steal a porn magazine. And I'm like, okay. I'm 14, 15. I'm like, sure, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. It beats the JCPenney catalog. Or better yet, the Christmas catalog. Because you got the toys and you got the women in lingerie. Ooh, that was... Christmas came early that year. Let's just put it that way. Okay, so I was like, yeah, all right, fine. And he's like, how are we going to do it? And I'm like, well, you pick it out. Because first off, I wasn't going to sit there because I knew exactly which one I would have gotten. Obviously, you go for the hustle. If you're going for any type of porn, and you're going for, yeah, you can get the Playboy, which is cute. Okay. But if you're going for just 14-year-old, 15-year-old boy, yeah, you're going hustler. It's just, call it what it is. And I'm like, you grab it. You grab the magazine, and then I will cash out. I will distract the shopkeeper, and you take it all back, and I'll meet you out back. And he's like, okay, we can do that. But I was like, you pick it out, you get it off the shelf, and we'll go from there. Because I remember the one time we were at the comic shop, and they always had those risque comics. And when I was a kid, the shopkeeper would look over and yell at us, like, oh, those are adult comics, you don't go on. Which I didn't even know they were adult comics at the time, to be honest with you. And I was just like, oh, the art, it's anime art, it looks good. And I was like, oh, shit. I mean, technically, Ghost in the Shell could be close to adult because, it's risque, but not dirty, but, it's skin tight, Like, these were, like, legit porn, like, but not, like, pervert porn. It was more like, I guess some of them did have the tentacle sex, whatever. It wasn't like, they would yell at us, like, you step away from that section, and I was like, oh, shit. I was like, well, I didn't want that happening to me in this scenario, because, I actually enjoyed going to that store, because they had comic books there, and I was like, I like going here. I don't want to be banned from going here. And I was like, well, shit, you get it off the shelf, and then we'll deal with it from there. I swear to God, 10 minutes later, it took him like 10 fucking minutes to pick out one. And I'm sitting there minding my own business. I'm just looking around and picking up some candy and junk and whatever. All of a sudden he comes up to me and I'm like, did you pick out the one you want? And he's like, oh, yeah. Here. And he shoves it into my coat. Now, this is midwinter. He shoves it into my coat. Now I'm thinking, holy shit, I got a hustler stuck in my coat. What am I supposed to do? Like, I panicked. I was like, holy shit. He literally shoved it, like, you get a picture. You got the coat on. He shoves it under my left, like, breast area, like, chestal region, and, like, under my arm, and I'm like, the fuck are you doing? I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? And he's like, he sticks it in there. And I'm like, now if I take this out and the fucking shopkeeper looks over and sees me pulling a porn out of my coat, what the fuck? He's going to call the cops on me for stealing. And I'm like, son of a bitch. I panicked. I had no other recourse. I was like, fine. Here, take my money, take my shit, go cash me out, and then meet me in the fucking backyard, you bastard. And I ran out the back. I snuck out the back. I think it was the last time I ever went there, because it was like, son of a bitch. And while I was waiting for him to cash out my shit, I pull it out. I'm outside. I pull it out, I look. Is it a hustler? No. Is it a Playboy? No. Is it some weird German thing? No. Is it even porn? No. It's not even porn. Not even a porn magazine. Now keep in mind, he spent 10 minutes browsing the porn section, and this is what he picks up. It's a biker magazine. And in the back of said biker magazine, they post pictures of old ladies. No, hear me. We're talking slag here. We're talking 80-year-old, tits to your knees, type shit. This wasn't even like... No, listen, I could understand because we're 15, so I can understand like 40-year-old biker babes, 60-year-old biker babes. They're mildly attractive still. They're a little, they're a little pruned, but, they're, women can be attractive at that age, don't get me wrong. These weren't even like grandmothers. These were like walking corpses. And they're like propped up against the bike, and they're doing topless photos. Occasionally you have the one that's got the full frontal, and she's like riding the hog, and she's like 80 years old, her tits are hanging down to the side. She's using them for like pedals. And I'm like, jeez. And I'm like, this is what you fucking picked out? And he's like, oh. We then go to the power plant. And this is where the story... Now I'm a fucking thief. I haven't stole before, but... Now I'm a thief at this place. And it wasn't even a good porn. It wasn't even a real porn. It wasn't even an actual porn. It was a biker magazine with old ladies in the back. Like, I'm surprised he didn't get up to his grandmother. That's how disturbing it was. These weren't even attractive. Like, listen, I suppose you could have a 90-year-old woman who's mildly attractive. Maybe I could deal with that. These were not attractive women. Not even remotely close to being attractive. Like, your dick ain't getting hard for any of this. I don't care how much titty she's showing and how low to the ground it is. No. Now listen, I've seen older women in the porn, and there's some that are attractive, and don't get me wrong. And I've noticed a trend. Like when I was 15, it was like, oh, the girls in school were like hot, and it's like, oh, these 15-year-old girls, blah blah blah. And then you get 16, 17, 18, 19, and it's like, oh, 20-year-old girls are attractive, and then 25, and then 30, and then 35, and now we're pushing 40, and it's like this trend has to stop. Okay, when did 40-year-old woman become mildly attractive? No. So, I mean, I suppose if I'm, 102 years old, 102-year-old women are going to be attractive. I hope the hell that never happens, but whatever. And it's like, these were not the type of women. These were old, slaggy, fucking biker bitches who just, like, hey, I'm gonna post topless, and they're gonna post it in their magazine. That's all it was. And I'm like, you made me steal a magazine. You made me steal porn for this shit? Anyways, after all this, we then decided to go over to the power plant. Like, the workout day is over. We got maybe 40 minutes. Maybe 40 minutes. But just, enough time to get some stuff in, but... Because, like I said, it was agreed to from the mothers that his mother would pick us up. She would drive me over to Mystic Stamp, where I would meet my mother, back toward the high school. So she would drive me back over there. And I was like, okay, cool. Anyways, so with this porn, I guess you could say, in hand, old Mr. Snow decides he's going to go into the bathroom with it. And I'm thinking, okay, he's going to take a shit. He's going to read it. He was in there for 45 minutes, and you know what he was doing. In fact, there were people that we knew who were there, and they come in like, John, you all right? You fall in? He's like, oh, he's sitting there playing with himself. And I'm sitting, and he's doing it graciously. Like, I'm standing out there, and I'm like, are you gonna hurry up here? He's like, oh, yeah. I'm like, 45 minutes, dude. I don't know, it was about half an hour. We had about 10, 15 minutes left. We didn't get a work in that day. We didn't work out at all. Anyways, he finally gets done playing with himself. The old ladies. He then hands it to me, this crusty magazine now. He says, get rid of it. And I'm like, okay, I'll get rid of it. Because I don't want any connection to it. So I took it, stuck it in my stuff, because I had my backpack. I was like, I'll get rid of it. I was going to throw it in the trash, but I didn't want I didn't want anybody seeing it. So, essentially, I was going to wait for everybody to go to bed, and I was going to stick it in the trash, and then pour something over top of it, and then bag up the trash, basically. that was my goal. So, I ended up taking it home. About 7:45. Maybe it was about 6:45, 7:45. Somewhere within that hour, we get a phone call. Apparently it's John's mother. She's upset. Because John confessed that I stole the magazine. No, I stole the magazine. And his mother is telling my mother that I have a porn magazine. And my mother comes in, where is it? And I'm like, where's what? Porn magazine. I'm like, oh, Jesus, it's right here. And I tried to explain, and now all of a sudden I got a fucking biker magazine with 80-year-old slag women in it, and I'm the pervert now. I'm the thief pervert now because of all of this stupid shit. I didn't jerk off to that filth. I didn't even look at the fucking thing. I mean, I thumbed through it and I was like, what the fuck is this? And that was the end of it. And it was like, are you fucking kidding me with this shit? The guy's a complete piece of shit. I mean, the guy was just a legit piece of shit. And don't get me started with the whole ketchup thing. He used to do things, and like, yeah, I admit, he'd egg me on, and I'd do stupid shit, and then he'd tell on me. That was his thing. And he comes across looking all sweet, pure, and innocent, and I'm the fucking bad guy. But I mean, honest to God, what kind of stupid bullshit is that? What, he had buyer's remorse? Thief's remorse? What the fuck? So I'm probably going to hell for stealing a fucking magazine. Porn magazine. I wouldn't even call it a porn magazine. I mean, if it's topless photos is porn, okay, fine. This wasn't even a porn magazine. It wasn't even a real it was, again, bikes and people standing next to bikes. Old ladies standing next to bikes was like the little thing in the back, like the little blurb in the back. Now keep in mind, He spent 10 minutes over there. He's looking around the shoulder. He's looking, make sure nobody's looking. He'd grab one, and he'd look at it. No, I don't want this. You put that back. He'd grab another. Oh, I don't want that. Put that back. He settled on the biker magazine with the old ladies in it. And we're talking, again, I want to point this out. We're talking 100-year-old women here. We're not talking just like, oh, she's 40. And she got leather chaps on her tits are out. Okay, I could dig that. Okay, even at 15, I could dig that. Okay, no, this wasn't, no. No, this was grandma type shit. Grandma got run over by a fucking pervert is what happened. It was nasty. It was absolutely disgusting. Like, again, I can understand the hustler. I mean, shit. I would have stole that. I would have stole 2 of them. 1 for each of us. This fucking bite. Oh, my God. And then I gotta try to explain to the old woman why I got a biker porn magazine that I stole. And it was like, are you fucking kidding me, you asshole? You scumbag. He would do stupid shit like that. And it was like, man, again, he shoves it in my coat. What the hell was I supposed to do? Just pull it out and stick it back on the shelf? Next thing you know, again, the guy who's going to be watching us, he's going to see me pull it out of my coat, stick it back up there, like, oh, you're a 15-year-old looking at the freaking porn. Get away from it. And I'm like, what the fuck? And then the next thing I'm going to be banned from the store. Swear to God. Things like that. No, don't get me wrong. I was complicit. I was like, hey, sure, let's steal it, take it, do it, and we'll split it. We'll cut it right down the middle. You take half, I'll take the other half. You know, whatever. Oh no, that's not how it played out. Don't get me wrong. I was gonna distract I was gonna do my part. He was gonna do half. I was gonna do the other half. We were in this together. But apparently not. I don't know, man. Absolutely disgusts me. Absolutely disgusts me to this day. Like, Little Dicky was a good friend. I like Little Dicky. Even though I made fun of him in my book, I do want to point out I like Little Dicky. Little Dicky, obviously not his name, but you get my point. I just like calling him Little Dicky because it's funny. Man, some of the antics with him, holy shit. Because I remember Little Dicky. I knew that kid since kindergarten. And I remember 1st, 2nd grade, he had those braces on his leg. And you were like, I was fascinated by it because it was like, there was nothing wrong with him. He could walk, but he had these braces because I don't know if he had bow legs or whatever the problem was. But he had these things between his thighs, and they were like strapped on. He had to have them on all day. And especially as a kid growing up with spina bifida, I was like, I related to that. So I was like, holy shit, Which I think is part of why we gelled so well in our antics together, if you get what I mean. We did some shit. We did some shit back in the day. But, like, I would be sitting there, because you gotta understand, him and I were such troublemakers together that they had to separate. It's like, I was in one corner, he was in another corner, and then the rest of the class was in the middle. Like, I couldn't even be in the class section. I had to be separated, so I'd have to have my desk over here, his desk would be over there, and I'd be sitting there, and it was the way they set up, our backs were to each other, because if we looked at each other, we'd start laughing and shit, because we were just doing stupid shit. So, like, I'd be sitting there doing my work, and all of a sudden I hear Little Dicky get up, because you knew when he was up running, because you'd hear the squeak. He's like, squeak, 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 because those fuckers needed oil. And I would just sit there and smile. I'm like, Little Dicky's up and running again. And again, I don't mean that like in a disparaging way, like, oh, the kid with the braces, ha ha ha. No, I don't mean it like that, but it was just, because I knew he was up doing something stupid. He was going to be up doing something, because then we started doing the whole farting thing, where we put like our hand to our mouth, and be like, make those little fart noises and shit. Like, we were doing that. I swear to God, we were doing that up to like 5th grade. They had to separate us. It was so bad. We were so fucked up because we like all of a sudden he would make the little fart noise. You go, make the little fart noise from across the room, and I just instantly start fucking laughing. I turned around and do it. He'd start laughing. It was you can understand these two idiots on either side of the classroom, just giggling their tits off over stupid fart noises. I mean, it was just so insanely funny. And we do it every day, though. That was the funny part of it. That finally, after like 2nd, 3rd, and 4th grade, they had to basically separate us, and then they had I don't know what possessed them to put us back together in 5th grade. They even had to separate us in 5th grade to a whole other classroom. This went back to the whole Miss Irving thing in 5th grade, where again I was with the class. They didn't separate me this time. I was more behaved. Okay, I was a little more grounded, but little Dickie had to be in the corner again. And it got so bad, he would just sit there and start making fart noises by himself. And he'd start laughing at his own stupid shit. And he'd be like, he'd just start making. I mean, it wasn't like that, but all of a sudden you hear. He would just start laughing. Like his face was red. He's like convulsing with laughter. It was so fucking funny. And I was sitting there like, at that point, I was like 5th grade. I was a little bit more grown up. But you couldn't help but fucking laugh because he was like, he was having a ball. He would make these little fart noises. He was like beside himself, literally, and just enruptured with laughter, like to the point he's gonna have a fucking coronary or some shit. He's gonna have a stroke or some sort of brain blood clot or some shit. It was like he was gonna do himself in. He was laughing so hard, like his face was beet red. Like, I swear to God, I've never seen anybody that into themselves. It was so... Which then brings us to the whole Miss Irving thing where she started... Because then she started having enough with David. Or Dickie, I should say. Excuse me. She had enough of his antics. And she'd fuck with him. She'd like... What's your name? You know, David... No, what's your last name? Glenn. What's your last name? Glenn. And she went on for like 10 minutes. And she's like, oh, no. It was, what's your full name? And then he'd say, David Glenn. And she's, no, what's your full name? And he's like, David Glenn. What's your full name? David Glenn. No, what's your middle name? I don't have one. What do you mean you don't have one? What's your middle name? What's your full name? And she went on for like 10 minutes with this whole thing. Because he didn't have a middle name for whatever reason. I don't know. And somehow she confused him into saying that his name was David Glenn. And she's like, what? And she cackles out this. I don't know, man. It was the most insane conversation I think I've ever heard in my entire life, where she was questioning him about his name. And I don't know. But then it was at one time where he was making these fart noises by himself. I was not doing it anymore. I mean, occasionally I would like, I'd walk by and I'd she got her, even right now I'm laughing about it, because I knew it would set him off, so I'd walk by and I'd go, he would just look at me and start laughing. Because I remember the one time I walked by and I did that, and I did it really low where nobody could hear me, and all of a sudden he just started going crazy, and this Harvey looked at me, and I looked at her, and I threw my hands up. I don't know what he's laughing about. I was like, I didn't do anything. I was like... So she finally started questioning, and she's like, little Dickie. And she goes into this whole dissertation about, do you need medical help? Because nobody should be farting that much. Now, she must have known he was doing it like it wasn't actual farting. It was. Now, occasionally he would. He'd let himself go once in a while, but most of the time it was just this fake little mouth fart. And she laid into him that one day. Like, nobody needs to pass gas that much. You must need medical assistance. By that point, I was like, the whole class was laughing at him at that point. Because, oh my god, she would get so pissed with him. She would get so mad at him. If you got a picture of this rotund woman, which, you know, it is what it is. She's in this chair. She's stomping around, trying to, you know, she's squealing around in a wheelchair. It wasn't an actual wheelchair, but it was a chair with wheels. And she's puddling around with her feet kicking. Little Dickie, you must need medical assistance, little Dickie. And he started giggling and stuff. Absolutely freaking insane moments with that kid. So even though, well, technically we kind of lambasted him. We kind of made him look to be stupid, but, well, he was kind of stupid at that, you know, back then doing this stuff. We all were, but I like Little Dickie. I have to admit, Little Dickie was a good friend. Oh, God. But yeah, he'd just make those little fart noises. And for decades, too. I mean, he did it for like a decade. He's probably still doing it today. I wouldn't be surprised. I'd probably, if I saw him today and I don't, he'd just start giggling his tits off. That's how fucked up it is. We're in our 40s now, and I guarantee you would still be laughing about that shit. Oh, my God. Anyways. Yeah, man, I had some adventures with that kid. Holy Christ. Again, go back to the freaking 5th grade where I gave him the porn, the actual porn magazine. He breaks out instead of taking it home like he was supposed. Because what I did, it wasn't an actual magazine. This is what made it all fucked up. I forgot to mention this when I was talking about this. I had taken the porn that was obviously a magazine, and I had cut it out. So I had cut out, like, around, like, I'd cut out the backgrounds and stuff. So you have, like, just the women, like, splayed out. Like, this was a raunchy one. This wasn't just Playboy where she's just sitting there, oh, look at me, I got little bunny ears and I'm so cute. No, it wasn't a cutesy porn. This was, like, spread everywhere. Spread eagle, spread anything. It was like, she was, like, you could look up inside. It was so, it was one of those kind. I did, like, I had cut out certain I did it purposely. I absolutely did it purposely because I was trying to, like, fuck with him. Okay, and I like I'd cut out, like, the vaginal region, so it's like I know it sounds disturbing. It was saying that because it just it's a picture. There's this woman. It's full bodied for the most part. Maybe her feet were cut off or whatever. She's laying there. Her legs are completely spread. I cut, like, I basically censored everything. Like, I cut the nipples out, so there's, like, holes where the nipples and the vagina were. So there's no actual pornage, if you get what I'm saying. And I don't know why he pulled that shit. I have no idea. So essentially what you had was all the sexual body parts were censored, but I gave him this shit, like, folded up in an envelope, this big white envelope, and inside you'd have these little round pictures of, like, little nipples and little vaginal parts and stuff, and they were just like these little tokens that were inside, and, like, it was just all fucked up. I completely, like, I was going to town with it. I was cutting around the thing. I'd cut off, like, certain parts. Like, one woman, I cut off her legs and stuff. Like, all you saw was just, like, the torso. It was, like, disturbingly fucked up. Like, if somebody was doing a psych review of this, it'd be like, what the fuck? So now you got to picture Little Dickie at lunchtime. And so it's around noon. Miss Irving literally comes wheeling through the hall. There's nobody in the hall except her and Little Dickie. Now, I was taking a test in the guidance office, which was, like, right down the hall. It was, like, I mean, you could spit, and it was right there. All of a sudden, I hear, "What is this?" And she says it like, "What is this? What is this, Little Dickie?" He's like, "Oh." And I knew instantly. I was in another room and I heard it because the door was open. And I heard it. I almost started laughing. I was like, and I'm talking like convulsing, like jiggling around laughing so hard. 'Cause I knew what he had done. I knew instantly what had happened. She came wheeling through, caught him looking at the porn at his locker. It was fucked up, and it was all fucked up because, like I said, I had cut out parts and I had done, I had, no, it wasn't like weird, like, like I took a marker and like put little staples in their mouth and like closed their mouth off or something. It was, or stapled their eyes shut. It was nothing weird, like kinky shit like that, but it was. He was standing at his locker looking at the porn enough where she could come by and see him doing it. I have no idea what actually took place. I don't know if if he was holding it up, because some of the stuff they had the fold outs, the ones where you. So I don't know if he was at his locker and he's just like holding it up like a map, like he's looking. Like holding it up to the sun, and he's just looking, and all of a sudden Miss Irving comes by and he's like, "Arr!" I have no idea what took place. He got marched down to the office. I don't remember seeing him after that, to be honest with you. I don't remember seeing him after that. I think that was, he's on Facebook. I saw him on Facebook, but as a kid, I think that was the last time I saw a little Dickie, actually, to be honest with you. I swear to God, that kid, I swear, oh my God. And then we were all laughing at his ass. The entire class was laughing at him after that. He, he got busted with the porn. I'm like, dude, no. I was like, come on, man, you're supposed to take that shit home. Do what you gotta do with it, take it home. Lunchtime breaks out, he opens up the locker, pulls it out, starts holding it up for the world to see. Because I can almost imagine, because, like I said, Miss Irving would fuck with him. So he was probably standing there at his locker. He's probably jerking off at his locker, I wouldn't be surprised. He's probably looking at this shit. She comes thundering through. How he didn't know she was there. She's probably looking over his shoulder. What is this, little Dickie? And I literally heard him go, nothing? Oh, nothing? Oh my God. Oh God, I'm trying to think. Is there any other stories? There's a shitload of stories. There's a shitload of stories, but I can't think of half of them right now. You understand, I blocked a lot of that stuff out. Because luckily by then, by like 5th grade, he didn't have the braces on his leg. Because that would have made it all even more funny when he's squeaking down the hallway. Like, he's got the fucking porn. And you Miss Irving, what is this? Come with me. She's like, come with me, mister. You're going to the office. That would have been hysterically funny. Because you got a picture, he'd have to like thrust one leg out, then thrust another leg to walk. So it was kind of like he was side saddling. I was like, and again, I'm not making fun of him. It was just, you got to picture him. You got to picture it with like the braces between the legs. And it was just like, it was like a ghetto transformer. You know what I mean? It was like Voltron. It was this weird little mechanical. It wasn't even like, I don't know what it was, but. I almost wish in 5th grade he had the braces, because that would have made the picture all the more better. Oh my God. Yeah, fucking middle school was a bitch, dude. I hated middle school. High school you could deal with, but middle school was nasty. I hated middle school. One thing I remember, every time, like, if you had to go to the bathroom, they had no doors on the stall. None of the stalls had doors. At least in the boys' room. I don't know about the girls' room, actually. And like every toilet had piss or shit on it. It was one or the other, or both. And it's like, are you kidding me? Like, if you had to go to the bathroom, you were screwed. Like, fucking nasty. You could not pay me to go back to high school. You couldn't even pay me to go back. Like if we were caught in the time warp and I woke up and it was like 15 again, I'm like, fuck this, I'm dropping out. I ain't shit. Screw this shit. I'll get my fucking GED in, ninth grade. Whatever. Yeah, I'll tell you, I believe I've learned more out of school than I ever did in school. Most of that stuff, jeez. Even basic math, I gotta think like what 8 times 5 is and shit. I don't remember. I can't tell you what half that shit. It's 45. It takes me a few minutes. Like, but who uses that shit? Who actually does mathematical on paper anymore? I mean, I'm not Galileo. I'm not doing math equations or Albert Einstein here. Planetary orbit bullshit. Most people use a fucking calculator. It's like, are you kidding me with that shit? I mean, I get it, but it's like, how many people actually use it? Honestly, how many people use it? Yeah, I can see if you're, because that's the thing. Like, I could see if you're into art. Yeah, you need to know how measurements work and shit like that. I don't care. I don't really care personally, to be honest with you. And like history, like I give a fuck about the Persian history. My life is going to be graded based upon Persian history. Wow. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it's not a fascinating topic, but dude, the way that one woman taught it in high school was horrible. It's not good. Like, we would come into a dimly lit room, the light would be off, the shades would be drawn, so it was dark in there. And she'd have this overhead projector, and she would write on the thing, and it would show up on the board, or up on the screen. And the whole fucking class, 45 minutes was just taking notes about Persian empires, and Roman empires, and Indian wars, and it's like, here's knowledge, and here's facts, and, the Persians raped the Indonesians, and the Indonesians farted on each other's moms, and it was just this awful grouping of words that just, and you sat there and it's like, what the fuck? I couldn't tell you one fucking thing I learned from that class. I couldn't tell you jack shit. And nothing against the woman. She was a decent teacher, and I'm sure if I actually had paid attention, but the shit was not engaging. It was not even fun. You literally just sit there and take note after note after note. And she was explaining it, and she was explaining it well. But who the fuck cares? You're 15, 14, 15. Nobody gives a fuck about the Persians at all. I don't even give a fuck about the Persians today. I'm 42 years old, going to 43. I don't give a flying fuck about them assholes. Even if I'm getting into conspiracy theories and Babylon and New World Orders and shit, I don't even give a fuck about the Persians. Neo-Persians and hermaphrodite Persian, whatever the fuck. Who gives a shit? Who cares? And now I will say the one thing I do remember learning and really enjoying was, and this is from Bobby McKenna's class, which I'm really surprised by. This was from Dick's class. He was named Dick, too. In fact, he actually introduces himself to my mother. He walks up to her, holds out his hand and shake her hand. He's like, "Hi, I'm Dick." And I'm like, yeah, you summed that up pretty well. We used to call him Bobby because he looked like Bobby Heenan. He had the little blonde hair. He had, oh my god, that guy was a joy. I'm not gonna lie. Oh my god, we would fuck with him. We would fuck with him every day. Oh my god, it was. I'm trying to remember what the riddle was. Basically, John and I would come up with these riddles for him. And what was beautiful is whatever we said, whatever his answer was going to be, it was always going to be wrong. Okay, so it's like, what's 2 plus 2? Oh, it's 4. No, wrong. The real answer is 3, and we'd come up with this reason why. because you have to count 0 or something. Whatever. It was all this just bullshit, right? The one I came up with, and this was off the cuff, and I'm proud of this to this day. I'm 43 years old, and I'm proud of this one. I went, I went up to him. John and I both went up to him, and I said, "Okay, I got a riddle for you." He's okay. He was one of those people who would always, he'd want to sound smarter than he really was. And, anyways, I said, this is the riddle. Old Mother Hubbard went to her cupboard to get her poor dog a boner. And I said boner. And I said, when she went to open the cupboard, the dog barked. Where's the dog? He's like, oh, well, give me a day. I'll tell you about it tomorrow. I'll answer it tomorrow. So the next day comes in and I said it again. Old Mother Hubbard went to the cupboard, get her poor dog a boner. The minute she opened the cupboard door, the dog barked. Where was the dog? And again, no matter what he said, like, oh, the dog was in the cupboard or whatever. That's kind of where it was leading, and it was like, he's like, oh, the dog was in the cupboard, and I'm like, John immediately yells out, wrong. Him and I never discussed like what the actual answer was, but just the fact it was whatever he said was going to be wrong. So he's like, wrong. And I was like, yeah, no, she was senile. The dog was really outside. She'd forgotten she'd left him outside. It was so stupid, but it was funny at the moment. We're laughing, and he's laughing. He's all excited, you know. I think he was more excited that, you know, just we were being stupid, but whatever. God, that guy was a hoot. I saw him in Walmart that one time. He's dressed in complete white. You have to picture a dude with blonde, orange hair. Trump type hair. A little more blondish than orange. And he's wearing all white. We're talking white shirt, white polo shirt, white see-through shorts, like you could literally see his panty line. White shoes and white socks that were pulled up about mid-calf. And he's in Walmart. I was there working, actually, believe it or not. And he's got a can of paint, a paintbrush, 2 lemons, and something I can't even remember. And I was like, you doing a little painting there, Bobby? He's like, oh yeah, painting my ceiling, or whatever it was, living room ceiling, or whatever it was. And we sit there and we shot the shit for a few minutes, and I was like, this is after high school, so that was the last time I saw the guy. Yeah, 'cause he was fucked up, dude. He would do these voices, like I do voices myself, like, Daddy, no! Like I do Jim and Donald, and you know, hello, and Dale T, and Peter, I do Graham, you know, shit like that. But he would do these Looney Tunes, like Daffy Duck and like Bugs Bunny. His favorite was Toucan Sam or whatever the fuck it was, and Yosemite Sam. And he'd do these he would do these voice messages on his answering machine, where he would act out these like little scenarios, like Bobby's not home, and it'd be like in Bugs Bunny's voice, and then Yosemite Sam would be like rootin' tootin' and all this other stuff. The dude was fucked up. I mean, he was literally fucked up in that sense, but he would change it all the time. Because we had payphones back then. And at the high school, the payphone, you know, there was like, oh, for hot time, call so-and-so, you know, that type of stuff. I don't know if we did this. I didn't have any part in this. I don't know if it was John or some of the other kids. But it was like, if you want a good time, call, and we actually got Bobby's number. We etched it into the little thing there, and like, for a good time, call this number. And he'd listen to his answer. Every day we'd actually go to the phone. We'd listen. We'd get like 2 or 3 of us. We'd huddle around. We'd hold it up to our ears and shit. And he'd be like, frickin', and whatnot. Because he had the fucking rooster dude. I forgot his name. Oh, freaking. And it's all this bullshit from the Looney Tunes. And it was him doing it. It wasn't like some sort of weird little like I don't know what it was, but it was him doing it. So because like I could see maybe like if he had gotten a recorder, like a tape, and it was like an actual Looney Tunes thing, and it was like, you know, so and so's not home today, frickin' frack, whatever. I could see that type of thing. But no, he wouldn't like buy one. He'd actually make his own. And it was the most funniest fucking thing. Like I remember for like an entire week we would actually go and just go to the local payphone, put a quarter in, and listen to his shit. It was the best quarter I've ever spent in my entire life because it was insane. It was insane because it would go on. It would go on for like 5 minutes. I didn't even know the answering machines could go on that long. There they were. And he would act out whole scenes and stuff and shit. It was actually kind of remarkable in a weird, fucked up sort of way. Like the most insane, crazy shit. I mean, oh, there's the thing we found out what his locker was because he had a locker right there with the students, and we put gum all over his locker. I mean, the entire thing was decked out in gum, like the whole thing, the knob, like he just went out there with a pen and scraped it off, like he didn't hit, I was like, oh, well, he got me good. Oh my god. Oh, then the time we did the ketchup, we took the little ketchup packets, because at the very top there's these vents, and you could stick a ketchup packet up in there and just squirt the shit out of it. Oh my god, we were mean to that guy. But it was... The weird thing is, though, one of the few things I remember from him, that like I took away from his class was bullshit, but I don't know, man, when he introduced... No, they used to do, like Shakespeare and stuff like that, where they want you to read the stuff, and Shakespeare was always interesting to me, but never, like, that interesting, if you get what I mean. It's like, I could deal with it, but I don't know. But when he introduced the story of Beowulf, I don't know what it was. That fucking story clicked with me. It was like, holy shit. Like, I was obsessed with the story. I thought it was the greatest thing ever. Even to this day, I still dig it. I don't know why. I'm not even saying it's even that great of a story necessarily, but there's something about it. Because you understand, his class was just boring as fuck back then. It was absolutely, because nobody wanted to be there. You're 15, it's nice out, nobody wants to be out. Nobody wants to be sitting in a freaking room for 45 minutes looking at some asshole dressed like a freaking clown telling you about, stupid shit. Or sitting there Neo-Persian bullshit. Nobody wants to hear about that stuff. Nobody wants to hear about that stuff. At all. So to actually have something that I could be like, oh, this is interesting. Like, I actually got invested in. I was like, wow. It had nothing to do with the teacher. I don't want to say the teachers were bad necessarily, but I do think some of their engagement processes were maybe not up to par. Because like you got to keep. I'm sorry, if you're a teacher, you got to keep the students engaged. If you're sitting there just droning on about like art history, stupid shit, and it's not entertaining, and I don't mean entertaining like whatever, but you got to keep the people engaged. Because what happened is the teacher was basically had the same class over and over. They would do the same class like 8 times or 7 times, whatever it was. So like if you were afternoon class, the teacher's done this like 5 times, and she's like, she talked monotone. And it's like, and then the Neo-Persians came and conquered this part of the land, and then they did this, and then they did that. And it's like, by the fucking point of like 10 minutes in, I want to kill myself. I just literally want to shove a fucking gun up my asshole and just end it all. It's like, wow. The French and Indian War was about blah, blah, blah. It's like, oh my god. Oh my god. I mean, if the woman could talk any duller, I would be a part of history. Give me a break. I'm not saying you need balloons and confetti, but you're talking about history of it's the history. Nobody cares. It's over and done with, you know? Nothing I can do to change it. Fucking learn about it. And then they get into the dates, and 1742 and 1337, 1392, 142, 43, A, B, C, D, 4. I'm like, I remember that from the quiz, and I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? I can't even remember my own name for the fucking quiz, much less 1432 and 1392 and blue, or when did Christopher Columbus sail the ocean blue? I mean, who gives a fuck? Who literally gives a fuck? Yeah, it was cute at the time. This was like 1995. Nobody gives a shit about Christopher Columbus. Nobody gives a shit about it. Give me a break. Absolutely stupid bullshit. Like, you want me to learn, but you're gonna sit there and just drone the fuck on about shit that does not interest me. You want to talk about video game history? Yeah, I'll listen to that. You want to talk about comic book history? I'll listen to that. Why? Because it's relevant. French and Indian War is not relevant on any level ever. Okay, you can give me bullet points and say, blah, 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 this is what we learned. Good. Take a quiz tomorrow. Okay, fine. I don't need 20 minutes of learning about what so-and-so had for breakfast on the 3rd day of the 9th month of the lunar solstice. Who gives a shit? Absolutely worthless fucking knowledge. I'm gonna die and go to hell, and that knowledge means nothing to me. Like, oh shit, if only I had learned about the French and Indian War a little better. I'm only burning in hell for eternity for stealing a fucking porn mag. But no, hey, whatever. Those goddamn Persians should have figured out what they were up to. I mean, come on, man. Irrelevant information. Absolutely. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't want to shit on history or anything like that, but you're going to talk about something that just does not interest me on any level, you've got to at least make it engaging. Like, I would rather listen to the history of Tetris, which actually has a very cool history. Especially the dude who basically made Tetris, is the one that sold millions of copies, and the motherfucker, I think he made about like 30 cents off the fucking thing. Now that's history that's actually knowledgeable and worth having. Like, you could have a conversation around there. Like, when's the last time anybody's had a conversation about the whatever, the Babylonian War, the Roman Empire? When's the last time we've had a discussion about the Roman fucking Empire, unless it had something to do with Babylon or New World Order bullshit? But seriously, when's the last time? No, Egypt I could understand, because Egypt was a little different. Egypt, obviously, because you got the pyramids and shit, and the mummies and all that stuff, so that was kind of cool. So you wanted to hear about Egypt. But when you're talking about just some random dirtbag country doing some random dirtbag things, nobody gives a shit. Nobody cares. Now, I can understand, like, okay, something like Hitler and Stalin, they were relevant, King Tut was not relevant. Yet, everybody knows King Tut. The kid was 13. He was a douchebag. Nobody cares. Nobody gives a shit. How many people know Tutankhamun? Tootin' your own fucking common, asshole. I mean, honestly. What teaches about like ISIS and shit like that, and Anubis, Lord of the Underworld. Dude, I would listen about Anubis all fucking day. Yeah, you're gonna talk to me about, John Carter or whatever the fuck his name was. I mean, yeah, it's great and all. Lord Alfred, what's his face? I can't remember his name. It's like, I don't care about these people. I just don't. You're never going to make me care about them. You're not. It's nothing personal. It's just like, gear my interest, or gear my schooling toward what interests me, not what doesn't interest me. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying just cherry pick, but if 60% was stuff that interests me, maybe I would listen to the other 40%. You know what I mean? It's like, now I get I get it. It's about learning about things you don't know about, and I get that. But there comes a point when it's irrelevant. And it's like, well, who are you to say it's irrelevant? I mean, listen, most kids are like, math is irrelevant. Well, no, math isn't irrelevant. No, if they had actually taken the time to acknowledge the fact that math is in everything, that literally the entire universe is made up of math. If you didn't have basic math, you don't have a basic universe. You put it in that perspective, I'm like, that's cool. You know? You put it into, especially ones and zeros and shit. Like, the entire universe can be broken down into ones and zeros. Every single solitary thing that exists can be broken down into ones and zeros. And that's fucked up. That's fucked up. That's kind of scary in a way. You know, you put it in that perspective, math is fucking cool. You know? Math is cool. Sitting there, 4 times 4 plus 3. Because Mr. Resnick used to do that shit in the morning every day. Like 4 times 3 times 4 plus 7, 8, 4, 7, plus 9, divided by 42, add 7, minus 4. What's the answer? And he called on me, and I was like, I zoned you out after 3 plus 4. I didn't give a fuck what you were saying. I wasn't listening to a goddamn thing you said after that. And he wouldn't leave me alone either. If I was like, I don't know, man, I have no idea. He'd actually go back over the whole thing. 3 plus 3. And he would say it in such a fucking tone that just wanted me to just, like, punch myself in the dick. You know, I'm not saying he's got to stand up there with a bandwagon and up there, you know, with a, clown parade, clown posse parade and dance around. But 3 plus 3 is 42, 9, 7, 6, 4, 3. All it would have helped. You know, it's 9 o'clock in the morning. Most of us are still half fucking asleep, and he's like, 3 plus 3, 9, 4, 7 plus 9, divided by 3, add 5, subtract 42. It's like, are you fucking kidding me? That's not how I want to start my day. I didn't even drink coffee, but give me one after that. Holy Jesus. Like, give me a break with that stuff. But, yeah, Mr. Earl was definitely a hoot. Holy shit. He's probably one of the better teachers I've had, I'll admit. Or at least, you know, personality-wise. Teaching-wise, to be honest, most of these people couldn't teach for shit. I'm sorry. Most of them couldn't teach you how to get out of a paper bag. And they were inept. They really were. A lot of the teachers were inept. I'm just going to throw that out to you. But as far as, like, personality goes, I mean, seriously, some of these teachers were fucking babysitters. That's all they were. But, you know, there were some decent people. As far as, like, human beings go, they were decent people. Not all of them. A couple of them were complete assholes. Like Mr. Baker, he was a complete dick. I don't know what his fucking problem was. He had a serious problem, and I don't know what it was. Luckily, I didn't have a lot of interaction with him, but man, he could be a dick. And not like Pastor Simmons kind of a dick, where he's like a stickler for the rules. He was just a dick for dick's sake. You know, like he was just, I don't know, he came across like really just nasty, mean. Or like, you know, Dick McKenna, he was just a dick who was just a dick, you know. But like, you know, like I never, like, especially in RCCS, I never had a problem with Pastor Simmons. I really didn't. I actually liked, you know, him to the most part, as a person, for the most part. I mean, yeah, he could be kind of a stickler, he could be, you know, a little stiff-legged here or there, but, you know, I'm not going to sit there and trash the guy. No, Miss Pelletier. Miss Pelletier is another one. She was another one of those who was a dick just to be a dick. She was just an absolute dick to me, and I don't know what the fucking problem was. I mean, I did tell her to go fuck herself, but that's neither here. That was after. Like, she would go on and 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 on. It wouldn't stop. Finally, I'd have to tell her to stop and make her stop by saying something horrible, which then get me sent to the office. It was like I just did it to get her to stop. I mean, that was 99% of the problem. She went on 10 minutes at one time. Well, I don't remember what the problem was. I mean, it was like just 10 minutes of just beratement. After a while, I was like, give it up. Just give it up. You know? Yeah, I didn't get my stupid notepad signed. Like, oh my god, that one day. That one day pisses me off to this fucking day. I haven't been in the hallowed halls of RCCS for over 25 fucking years, and it pisses me off to this very day. Every morning or every night we'd have this homework assignment where we'd have the homework, we'd have to write it down. This is what I have to do, and then our parents would have to look to see that we did it and then sign it. Most of the times our parents just signed it. They didn't give a fuck if we actually did it or not. But it was just, they wanted like accountability for the parent. Okay, fine. And I get it. It's fine. It's great. Well, I remember one morning, and it was dark out. Middle of winter. The old woman's sitting there. She's sitting at the she's in the kitchen by where the toaster used to be. She's eating her toast. And I can't remember if Ollie was there. I think Ollie was there. Either that or the dog before. No, when was this? This had to be 90s? We didn't get Ollie until 92, so maybe it was 92. Maybe Ollie was still there. I don't know, whatever. Yeah, Ollie was there. Yeah, he was there, little bastard. Yeah, because she'd feed him toast. That's right. He always loved to come out and have toast with her. Because he would sleep with me in the bed. What happened, he'd love... If he could sneak into the back bedroom with her, he would. But she'd get tired of him and kick him out and bring him in with me. So she'd open up the door, he'd come running out. And then we got Lucy later on. She'd do the same. Shit, man. Yeah, we got Lucy around 2000, 2001. Ollie would shit. We got Ollie in 92, late 92. He was an old dog by then. Shit, he was an old little fucker. Anyways, so she let the dog out of my room. I still got a few minutes to sleep, and she's like, time to wake up. Blah blah blah. One of those. And she says, when I get up, I go to the dryer, I get my clothes, and she says, take your notepad, open it up to the page, and leave it there on the kitchen table, and I will sign it before I go to work. I was like, okay. I did that. I did my part. I did everything I did. I was like, hey, Mom, you got to sign this. Here you go. I did my part. Kiss my dick. Kiss my dick, Donna. I did my part. So I get up, go, get ready for school, go to the bathroom. I'm in the bathroom, taking a shower, the whole nine. I didn't even pay attention, to be honest with you. Because what would happen is I would get up, get ready, and then while I was getting ready, she would take off for work. I'd come out and she'd be gone, whatever. So I grabbed my notepad. I'm surprised I even remembered it. My notebook, whatever. They had those little printout things that they staple in the little shit books, but whatever. And I went to school. And of course, the minute you walk in the school, blah, blah, blah. Open up your notepad, you gotta check it. You gotta make sure it's there, signed. I opened it up. There's no signature. The old woman forgot. She was running late. She forgot. And I was like, okay, fine, fuck it happens. Name on the board, name and check, I think it was, or whatever the fuck it was. Put my name on the board. Put my name up there, whatever. I'm like, son of a bitch. It wasn't my fault. I did nothing wrong. I said, here, sign this. And she was running late. She forgot to sign it. Just shit happens, right? Fucking 10 minutes later. Oh, the importance of having your parents sign the thing and then accountability, blah, 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 blah. Finally, I said, you know what? I don't remember what exactly I said, but it was like, give it up. I was like, it happened. Shit happens, basically, is what I said. Get over it. I said get over it, and I said, Basically, shit happened. So I didn't say shit, but I said, it happens. It just didn't work out today. She got all pissed off, sent me to the office. We got to have a big discussion about accountability. And I was like, are you kidding me? It's not the first time I didn't have the fucking thing signed. But she went on for honestly, she went on for 10 minutes. Just berating me about this fucking thing. And it was like, I did nothing wrong. I can't physically force her to sign the fucking thing. Like, give me a break. Anyways, I hated school. It was stupid shit like that. Part of why I hated school. That's why people like me fall through the cracks. It's stupid shit like that. And you get that every day, and you get this every day. And it's like, I don't want to go and deal with these people. I don't want to deal with these people. And then you got to deal with the students. No, the RCCS students weren't as bad, but the high schoolers and middle school, Jesus. Middle school was like the Wild Wild West. It was like, oh my God. I remember, dude, it was fearful. I had legitimate fear in 4th grade because we had to leave Ansville School, which was grade school, and we were going to the middle school, and that was like this. Honest to God, and it happened. I think the song came out around that time. But "Welcome to the Jungle," it literally is that right there. Just welcome to the fucking jungle. I was like, holy shit! You got people like Big Dumb Waterman running around. 8th grade with a freaking full-on beard because he's so stupid. He was held back so many years. People, God, people piss and complain. Oh, little Johnny got bullied today because he was wearing braids in his hair and looked like a girl, and he got bullied for it. Yeah, he should get bullied for it. You got your kid wearing a dress and acting like a fucking idiot. He should be bullied. Jesus, I just stood there and was getting bullied. I didn't do a damn thing and I was getting bullied. Honest to God. Where was all this anti-bullying bullshit when I was a kid? I had actual teachers watch shit happen. People would threaten me. Like, a dude would literally come up and threaten me. And the teacher would be like, and walk away. Absolutely bullshit. And all of a sudden it's, little Johnny got his boo-boo feelings hurt. Oh, give me a break. Half these fucking kids don't have a goddamn backbone. Half these fucking kids would fold in a fight. I'm not saying I wouldn't. Somebody popped me in the face, I'd start bawling. I'd cry like a little bitch. I'm not going to sit there and pretend otherwise. I'm no fucking hero. But, seriously, these kids today got no fucking backbone. Not a goddamn one of them. Oh, they said mean stuff to me about on Instagram or some fucking stupid thing. Dude, first off, they say mean things to you about Instagram. Dude, I would have loved the internet back 90s, early 90s. Holy shit. The stuff we could have done. Oh my God. Oh my God, I was just thinking about stuff. Dude, I was doing Photoshop before Photoshop. I was actually taking photos. Like, there's that picture of Dale T hugging the turkey. Because the old woman, she got this hot air cooker. And she cooked this huge turkey in it. Beautiful, by the way. And she took a picture of it. Like an actual picture. Like, chink. Like, with flash. And it just, she had it developed. And then there was a picture of Dale T standing there. Actually, it was a family portrait. He was standing there. He's all proud and he's all stout. And I cut him out and stuck him next to the turkey, so he's got his arm around the turkey. You seen the picture? Oh man, I was doing Photoshop before Photoshop was even a thing. They owe me royalties. Anyways, I'm gonna end this clip because I'm tired. I just got a cramp in my side. Ow. I've been cramping up like an old broad lately. I gotta get up. Anyways. Yeah, something that was supposed to take 10 minutes to tell a story took an hour and 14 minutes. So, yeah, great. Anyways, hope you enjoyed the little fucking stroll down memory lane. I sure as hell didn't, but, whatever. Anyways, that's it. Fuck you. Goodbye. Like, subscribe, favorite, what all that bullshit. Fuck you.